Shimon said, patriotism is not only taught, but it can also be touched. And this is what we need to inculcate in our younger people. So, do we need a new thinking as a country? Or we are still thinking that this country is going to be developed by God, for God and my country? Yes, for God and my country. That's very good. Hasn't that existed for almost how many years? Why has Uganda remained like this? Haven't churches been there? I was born and found them there. Why is Uganda poor? You think Uganda is lacking prophets? Prophets are there. But why is Uganda poor? The Chinese said that there are more churches in Africa than factories. Is that true? Do churches produce? We need to be patriots. Patriots. Patriotism. We need to love our country. The 15-point program, if you go on your tablets, the NRM 10-point program, the 10-point, then later 15, then they were reduced, now they are 4 core elements that define Uganda's ideology. It's key. You teachers, you have a special place in our society. I'm telling you. You have a special place in our society if you don't know it. And that begins with you. Somebody cannot be there and say you have value when you don't say it in yourself. I want to tell you, you must be soldiers of change. And once you master it, because you are the ones who influence curriculum, once we get it at this level, the Catholics say, teach a child. When the child is what? He will die a Catholic. That has not been done, do it. You get what I'm saying? Do it. To do it doesn't mean you have to be the president of this country. Yes. In other words, you and me, as a Ugandan, we all have a responsibility. You get what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Can you sacrifice? Because there are people who sacrifice for you.
When you emphasize non-principled differences, you weaken yourselves. When you emphasize non-principled differences, you weaken yourselves. When you emphasize the tribal differences, you are actually undermining unity, and yet unity is strength. When you emphasize religious differences, you undermine unity. I do not agree that a human being cannot develop on his own. I don't agree. You can. You can achieve transformation if you have the right mindset. The difference we have a defeated mind. A defeated mind. We think somebody else has solutions for us, not ourselves. Am I communicating? Yes. We always look for solutions from elsewhere, not from inside us. How many of you believe you are part of government? Why do you think so? With a blue t-shirt, why do you think you are part of government? Yes. Because you serve the government. Now, partly you are right, but that's not the answer. Who forms the government? Yes. So, the population is part of government, but they always say, government, tetuyambye. When we are distributing the OWC cows, the Muchigamani said, that your cow has defeated me, come and take it. Given to him for free, he's calling it your cow. Coffee seedlings, some were left at sub-county headquarters, and they died. A man is a government. And what are you? So first of all, we need to deal with the mindset. The bottom line, are you serving God's purpose in your life? That's the bottom line. But if you are going to be like the chicken, everything is coming to you as a head teacher. Don't get surprised when they are fighting you. Because you are a hyena in a man's skin. I have a duty to educate society. And unless you touch the real things, people never learn. So leaders need to be given orientation. And not 3 weeks as they do these days, they should have 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, in China, you cannot become a national leader unless you have gone through your chakras. You can't. You must have ideological training.
And the Bible says every good tree is known by its fruit. And we are here and we shall go back as good trees of Uganda. Isn't it? Then the other thing that I noted, he said, mistakes of teachers are where? Are where? So that means from today onwards, every child I will see that has gone to school, I will know that is a mistake of the what? But it's not too late. It's not too late. We can change that. So we are going back to do what? To change that.
Feel that you are throwing the joint. You are sharpening the joint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay?
Definitely, God created us with 7 positive feelings we have. Are you getting me? Okay? Like hope, faith, love, desire, and the feeling of sex, for example. All those feelings were created by God, but they need a lot of control. If you don't do physical exercise, you cannot control those. Although they are good, they can become dangerous for you. Are you getting me? Do you remember the figure of young children who have become pregnant during COVID time? It's because they have learned to enjoy sex, which is not by them. Now they are eating it like sweet chewing gum. Are you getting me? They cannot control the feeling for sex. But that purpose is not why God created it. Are you getting me? Not to produce children too early. Are you getting me? Yeah? Good.
For the feelings, you feel younger.
Absolutely. Small, clear point. The feelings, the feeling. You feel younger.
To the brain, physical exercise increases the supply of nutrients like oxygen, water, and all the other nutrients needed.
Say it again.
To the brain, this physical exercise increases the supply of nutrients like oxygen, water, and all the other necessary nutrients.
So the brain remains healthy and dynamic. Are you getting?
The body, speed helps in the elimination of toxic substances like sweat.
Good.
Which without us bring problems in the body.
But you mentioned one word speed.
It promotes.
Okay. Okay. His point, he made 2 points in one. Okay. It increases speed. There's no question about that. Speed of thinking, speed of feeling, speed of dealing with emotions, speed of body parts, speed. Do you realize, people, that as Ugandans, we are becoming more and more slow every day? Even when you look at senior for students, you look at university students, you look at the way they are walking, everybody is walking slow and thinking slow and doing slow. It's like we are moving towards the grave every second.
On behalf of the participants, we'd like to most heartedly appreciate you for the presentation you have made this morning. Thank you very much for enlightening us on nation building, patriotism in nation building. I am certain that we're going away with a different mindset. We're going away to think outside the box. we have every reason to continue or to start teaching patriotism to our learners. As we've heard, some people have never started this program, and will have to start this program because it is very beneficial, not only to us as administrators, but also to the learners. You have also told us one of the things that we need in order to change society is God's intervention. And indeed, these nation builders need God's intervention as we go out to change the world. Patriots! We love Uganda, I serve Uganda, I sacrifice for Uganda, I'm loyal to Uganda, I love myself. Thank you very much, Deputy. Thank you very much, Deputy Commissioner, for the talk you have given us, and thank you for ably answering all the questions that came to you. Asante sana!
Now, that process of arriving at some explanation or impression of the world around us is what we call thinking. So therefore, thinking is an interaction between the human being and the world around him. It's one of the interactions. But this particular interaction takes place through the five senses. That the human being interacts with the world around him or her using the five senses to receive information. Smell, taste, sight, hearing, touch. Any and all the five can give us information. And when we receive information, the first thing that happens is that the brain, or rather the organ, the sense that we are using at that particular moment, transmits information to the brain. Then the brain carries out some analysis. What is this? If it has never received that information, if it has no recollection of that information, then it's a new thing. And the brain can assign a symbol to it to say, I have decided that in order in future to be able to say, ah yes, I remember that one, I will call it this.
Push completely. Push in. Take it. Remove the ball. Take away. In here first, then slide inside. Good. Okay, let's go. Also important. Yes.
Uganda shares lots of resources with her neighbors, isn't it? Yes. Examples. Lake Victoria. Mountains, example. Ergon, yes, and Rwenzori, and the Imaton, and the Bufumbira. Aharex, Albert, and Victoria, and River Nile.
If you really love your country, and God has given you that power to change the lives of the learners who are entrusted to you, then you should be doing the right things. But if you are doing these things that you have mentioned, and many others, then you can't count it to be patriotic. Meaning you don't love your country. Because you are tampering with the future of the learners that God has given you.
Some of us, instead of knowing the duties, we only, especially in schools, when they talk of being patriotic or patriotic clubs, it is NRM. Who told you that to be patriotic means loving His Excellency, President Museveni? Who told you? Tomorrow is going. Is your patriotism ending there? Uganda is bigger than an individual. And that is where our challenges lie. We are forgetting our responsibilities and glorifying the rights. Teaching patriotism is a daily thing. You hear somebody saying, you don't need to teach me how to love my mother. How many of you go to church? Mosque. Every Friday, where do you go? The Muslims? The Christians, where do you go on Saturday and Sunday? You want to tell me the Catholics today is the fourth Sunday of Advent. Is it in you? Those of my age and above, have we not been attending these services every Sunday? Then why do we go there every day? Why do we go every Sunday? Why do we go to church? Now, when we tell you that teaching patriotism every day to the children we stay with, you don't have to question that teaching you patriotism, you don't need it. Because you need to be reminded.
For us here are our outstanding stakeholders, and I want to say that on their behalf, after here, they are going back to changed facilitators as well, changed participants, changed institution managers, and all the like than they came. As for me, I'm changed. I came when I was really not sure what was going to take place, but I'm going back loaded. I'm going back changed. I'm going back willing to do according to our calling.
Every program comes, then poverty continues. You see, there is also in fighting, we call repulsing the enemy. You go and fire, then the enemy runs away. The enemy has been repulsed, but not destroyed. And he will come back tomorrow or the other day. So if you want to deal with the enemy, you must decisively destroy the enemy. So I think poverty in Uganda and these other children have not been destroyed. Whereas we identified who the enemy is, but we have not been able to destroy the enemy because I think we did not bother to find out their center of life. That's where we. So we need to find out what is this that makes this enemy, poverty, unemployment, survive all the weapons we have been. What is it?
On behalf of the participants here present, finally I would like to thank you for having enlightened us on so many issues pertaining to our resources in the country and how we can tap those resources in order to become rich. You have enlightened us about the two major problems or challenges we have in this country, that is poverty and unemployment. And you have told us the actors, the three actors that are responsible for our well-being. And finally, you have showed us that we are the enemies of ourselves as far as poverty is concerned. Thank you so much. We promise that we have learned a lot and we are going to do something in order to alleviate ourselves from poverty. Thank you very much and be blessed.
Understanding of science takes under the interpretation of natural things which happen away from them being myths to application in life. We have discoveries of medicine, a lot of knowledge about medicine in our community. And when education came, it labeled education and religion, labeled our science, technology, and innovation, which was indigenous here. It was labeled either backward or satanic. So the loop is going back into that. We are sitting with whoever is left to get the knowledge. And the good thing, we have identified those areas where the world now is desperate. They have reached the end of their science. One of those is medicine. High blood pressure, diabetes. People in here will tell you, you go there and I have talked to people, they say, and you have the medical thing and you check the guys now, right? So we are now examining that, adding in, using science, building technologies out of it, and there are many, many other things, that knowledge. So we are looping there and packaging it very well but we are also picking the new knowledge which is now available, and we are flying to be together with the people who are first in line. I think
there is also need to integrate patriotism into the curriculum for primary, secondary, and post-secondary institutions, so that it should not just be seen as something which is outside. And there is need to disseminate patriotism values to the general public through talk shows, radio talk shows, television, and even organizing tailor-made online courses. It will be very, very useful.
I thank you for enduring the time you've been here and also for such trainings. I don't want to call these trainings a workshop, but this refresher training was intended to remind ourselves the strategic assignment, quote me well, the strategic assignment which you and the president went into a contractual obligation to fulfill, because you, by nature of your training, you vote to serve mankind through education. So you are the parent, the second parents of these people whom we produce and bring to you. So that strategic assignment is why the brigadier and his team organized this training for you, to just remind you, because you know, I doubt if in all these, out of the 22 courses or topics you went, they took you through, apart from the physical one, most of the things you knew them, isn't it? No. They were not all that new. You may have somehow heard about them, but somewhere, somehow, you couldn't apply them. That's why it is our duty as the National Secretariat for Patriotism to always remind you about your role as a Ugandan and as a good citizen. You will agree with me, these days the rate of moral decadence among our people, starting with the younger generation, the Reverend here will tell you, is ungodly. It is disheartening. And it is our duty, me and you, to come together and we find a cure to this problem. And that can only be done through inculcation of the patriotism values to our people and to the school-going community. Why I'm insisting on the school-going youth is because that is the starting point. Teachers, you're already demigods. The values and the whatever you hold into children. Some of us, we write our handwritings not because we write it from God or God gave us. We write well because of the teacher you always emulated. Actually, for me, my handwriting is copied from a certain teacher. And up to now, every time I get a pen to write, I remember how we used to do what? To write. So patriotism is a value that is very crucial, and I believe they have told you about this, if we want to build our nation. That's why it was one of the 4 principles NRM thought about way back in 1980, when some of us were just like the other cowboy. I doubt if we're really understanding, but those people were already somehow thinking of how to guide this country through all these decades, and they are telling me they are still guiding us. And I also now commission you to go out and become ambassadors of the renewed patriotism agenda in our schools.
Asante sana!
I also want to inform you, you are the agent of change. The change we want to desire to achieve. You know better what change. If you think you're well off, you stay stagnated, we shall not deal with you. We shall only pray for you to die early so that we remove you as a rotten tooth. But you can become the agent of change so that we can attain all our development aspirations. I also take the privilege and honor now to declare this training officially ended and closed. I thank you all for God and my country.